Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Questionnaire of chapter 12. Now, questionnaire is one method which can be used to assess a person's personality. When we talk about a questionnaire, we are basically talking about a list of questions. The technical word for questions is items. So there are a set of items which are there in a questionnaire. You give this questionnaire to a subject whose personality you want to assess. He responds to the items which are given onto the questionnaire depending upon the options, response, alternatives, or options which are given. This person records his or her answers on the questionnaire itself by either drawing a circle on it or by ticking whichever option or response alternative is most suitable to him. The response alternative could be a yes or no, could be I always agree, I sometimes agree, etc. Now, questionnaire presents a variety of situations which are likely to confront a person in the normal course of his or her daily life. So these items are basically different scenarios in which the subject is intentionally put. It's actually different scenarios or situations, and they're simple questions which are about how he behaves in different situations in his life. I'll be discussing with you a couple of personality inventories. First, let me take you what exactly is a personality inventory. When we talk about a personality inventory, it has sub-tests in it which are actually trying to assess a particular person's personality. It requires one to answer questions which touch upon his past, which touches even upon his present, and how well he is adjusted in his present. How this particular subject or person whose personality you are trying to assess, how well is she act with respect to given situations in future. So different scenarios you give to the subject, he has to respond accordingly. He has to select the option which is most appropriate to him. The questions in some inventories are very direct in nature. In some inventories, they may be very indirect also, which are totally disguised, and the subject is not able to understand at all what particular trait of my personality the investigator is trying to assess. These are a couple of famous personality inventories which have different uses. First one is MMPI, which is referred to as the Minnesota Multi-Purpose Personality Inventory. This is used to measure different personality traits of both people who are normal as well as people who have some kind of issues or are abnormal. California Personality Inventory is an equally famous inventory which intends for self-appraisals, which means you self-administer it, you yourself answer the questions which are given. It assesses your self-adjustment, that is your personal level adjustment, as well as your social adjustment, how well you are adjusted in your social life. Another one is Alport-Werner scale, which measures your economic values, your political values, your social values, religious values, and even your aesthetic values. Now, this is an example of a questionnaire. This is going to make things clearer for you. You can see that on this left side, there are certain questions which are referred to as items. On the right side, you can see that there are options which are also referred to as response alternatives. So the subject is basically required to read these questions or items, which are actually situations, and then respond as either yes, it is applicable to me, no, this particular statement or situation is not applicable to me. So let's take them up one by one, the various items given in this particular questionnaire. First question is, do you often feel just miserable? So the subject is expected to respond as a yes or no. Second question is, do you feel that time is passing away fast? He has to respond as either yes or no. Third is, do you like to be left alone? Again, yes, no. Do you have sound sleep? Next item is, do you join social functions? Next item, can you stand noise? Are your feelings easily hurt? Yes, no. Does criticism disturb you greatly? Again, yes or no. So the subject is expected to either tick yes or no. Okay, now there are a couple of disadvantages, limitations also of this particular method. Questionnaire demands answers either in the affirmative or in the negative, while the vast majority of individuals would prefer an intermediate answer, which is not possible usually through a questionnaire. When you read the questions, you slightly get a hint what exactly is being tried to assess. There is a possibility that the subject may fake his answers. People, who have less insight or are less aware about themselves, that may possibly act as a limitation. So if they are themselves not very well aware of themselves, how will they respond to the various situations or items which are given in a particular question? So it's important that, self-awareness should be there. Finally, the terms often, frequently, sometimes, etc. do not mean the same thing to different people. So for somebody, often may mean something else, for someone frequently, and sometimes may mean something else. So that may create confusion at times. Now, towards the end of the chapter, you have a certain exercise which is given. Under the category of long answer questions, there is question number 4, which says elaborate the limitations of the questionnaire method. So you can watch this video again, and you'll get a better clarity on how to deal with this question.